Welcome to the Explainer, Focused Learners. The gap between standard developers and AI-augmented architects, it's widening daily. Today, I'm stepping in as your senior developer mentor to totally demystify the AI coding landscape. Whether you're just starting out or you're looking to drastically improve your productivity, we're going to break down exactly how to navigate this new era of software development and put you firmly in the architect's seat. Let's get to it.
Okay, let's dive straight into this mission briefing. First, welcome to AI coding. Second, chatbots versus coding agents. Third, beyond web-based coding tools. Fourth, the Vibe coding workflow. 5, perfect specs with Promptia. And finally, 6, mastering multi-file refactoring. We're leveling up your skills from the absolute basics right through to some seriously advanced execution workflows.
Section 1, welcome to AI coding. Before we start building anything, we really need to clear up some common misconceptions and, establish the fundamental concepts of how these AI models actually read and remember your code.
First up, let's talk about tokens. You can kind of think of tokens as the CPU cycles of the AI world. They're basically the fundamental unit of compute cost. When you're typing, the AI doesn't actually see characters. It breaks everything down into these little word pieces called tokens. Understanding this is absolutely crucial. It helps you grasp why you suddenly hit usage limits or why just dumping massive 1,000-line files into a prompt literally costs you more money. And then you have the context window. Think of this as the AI's short-term memory. It essentially determines if the model can only look at a few local files or, if you're using modern tools, up to 1 million tokens encompassing your entire project architecture all at once.
And this brings us to a core philosophy of modern development. Think of AI as a very fast, very knowledgeable junior developer who literally never sleeps, but completely lacks common sense. The big takeaway here is that AI is fantastic at the how. Writing the syntax, building out the boilerplate, churning out those repetitive unit tests. But you must always remain the architect deciding the what and the why. You are the senior developer guiding this incredibly fast but sometimes completely clueless junior dev.
Moving on to Section 2, chatbots versus coding agents. Now, I want to instantly change how you view these tools by looking at a pretty stark contrast, highlighted by developer Carles Mateo. Listen, manual copy-pasting from a browser tab is totally dead. While a standard chatbot just, talks to you and forces you to shuttle code fragments back and forth to your editor manually, an agent is an entirely different beast. Mateo really emphasizes this. A true agent is integrated directly into your IDE. It has active access to your code base, it autonomously modifies files, writes brand new ones, and even executes terminal commands. It's a proactive participant in your workflow, not just some static reference manual you keep on your second monitor. Section 3, beyond web-based coding tools. If you seriously want to learn to build scalable products and develop strong, lasting technical skills, well, we need to take off the training wheels.
Tools like Lovable or Figma Make, they might be great for spinning up really quick, high-fidelity prototypes, but they trap you. Vendor lock-in and black box code generation are honestly the ultimate enemies of a scalable architecture. They hide the actual code from you, which means zero transparency and zero real technical learning. Plus, you get locked into forced back-end integrations and entirely lose the freedom to choose your preferred AI models. If you want to be a real builder, you absolutely have to move past these web-based restrictions.
So, knowing exactly which tool to reach for is half the battle. Now, Cursor really stands out here by giving you a full IDE with access to all the major AI models, which offers a super solid medium price-to-value ratio for your everyday tasks. But then, there's Claude Code. It's an absolute terminal-native powerhouse specifically designed for multi-file refactoring. Now, yes, it will burn through your rate limits way faster, but when you need to safely rewrite complex logic across dozens of files autonomously, Claude Code is exactly the specialized heavy lifter you need.
All right, Section 4, the Vibe coding workflow. Let's see how all of this actually builds into an actionable, real-world strategy.
Here is the exact 4-step playbook you need to conserve your tokens while still maintaining top-tier output. First, provide incredibly detailed requirements. Second, let the agent plan your architecture using a top-tier premium model. Think Claude Opus here. Why? Because Opus is the expensive, slightly slower, but highly intelligent architect. Third, once that robust plan is locked in, switch over to a lower-cost, much faster model like Sonnet to execute and actually type out those files. Sonnet is your cheap, lightning-fast typist. And finally, step 4, always use the AI to do a final code review of your new branch before you even think about merging it.
Section 5,
perfect specs with Promptia.
Enter the Promptia.md file. Developer Carlos Mateo uses this exact trick to maintain absolute control over his agents, and it's brilliant. By creating this single markdown file right inside your docs folder, you essentially give your agent a definitive playbook. It acts as the ultimate system prompt for your entire repository. You just drop all your specs, rules, and architectural logic right in there. This ensures you can easily reproduce the project from scratch without the AI ever losing context or forgetting your very specific coding standards across different sessions. It's a total game changer.
But here's a massive warning. Never blindly trust the generated code. AI will sometimes miss embarrassingly simple things, like a plus sign for string concatenation. Or, worse, it'll confidently hallucinate a library function that literally does not exist. But most importantly, it completely lacks infrastructure common sense. Please do not give an AI agent unchecked control of your live infrastructure. If it somehow decides that dropping your production database and starting over is the fastest way to clear a bug, oh, it will happily do it without breaking a sweat.
All right, final section. Section 6, Mastering Multi-File Refactoring.
Knowing exactly when to switch between safely asking questions and letting an agent autonomously execute is the real secret to keeping your codebase pristine. So Ask Mode acts like a safe, sandbox tutorial space. It explains things without touching a single line of your actual code, but for massive, repository-wide, multi-file refactoring, that's when you switch into agent mode using a tool like Claude Code. This is where you unlock autonomous, multi-step execution. The AI can plan a full REST API, create the necessary files, and even run the terminal commands to install your required packages. And to really supercharge that agent mode, we use MCP, or Model Context Protocol. You can think of MCP servers basically as specific utility apps for your AI. So imagine your AI agent hits a bug. Instead of just getting stuck and giving up, it automatically queries your live PostgreSQL logs via MCP, finds the exact error line, and writes the patch across 5 different files autonomously. It's wild. It brilliantly bridges the gap between static text generation and real, live system interaction.
But listen, when your AI has the power to query live databases and edit 5 files all at once, security immediately becomes your primary job. You really need to review this checklist carefully. Because AI doesn't inherently understand your unique security context, it might confidently vibe code a classic SQL injection, or it might just leak an admin password by hardcoding it directly into an auth file. Yep, I've seen it happen. That is exactly why utilizing an automated AI reviewer like CodeRobot is an absolute necessity. You have one AI write the code, and a totally separate, sandbox AI rigorously test it against this exact checklist before it ever reaches production.
So now that you've got the gear, the deep knowledge of compute tokens, and the workflow to command your very own autonomous developer, you are no longer just a coder, you are an architect. The tools are here, and the restrictive constraints of those web-based toys are totally behind you. The only limit now is what you choose to build. So, what's your next project going to be? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, Focused Learners. Keep building, and I will see you in the next one.